Look up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's
the Krypton Report. Welcome to the Krypton Report. I am your host, Tyler, and here we talk about all things Kryptonian, the Supergirl TV series, anything from sci-fi to comics, anything with Superman and Supergirl. The Krypton Report is part of the Southgate Media Group, which you can find us on Facebook at Krypton Report, Twitter at Krypton Report, KryptonReportPod@gmail.com. And then you can find us at SouthgateMediaGroup.com. Also, you can find me, Tyler, at JTY Patrick on Twitter, as well as my lovely co-host and wife, Jania, at Jania Patrick on iTunes. And we ask that you please leave us a review if you can. Send us any feedback. Let us know how we're doing, because we would love to work with you and let us know how we're doing. Now, on with the show. It is I, Tyler. And real quick, before we get into all things Kryptonian here, we'll take a quick moment to apologize for being gone for a while. It's been a little tough, as some of you may know. My beautiful wife, Jania, just gave birth to our new baby girl, and that's taken up a lot of time. Our house is small, and she is loud, so the reports come a little slow. My bad. But I do want to say thank you for everybody. We love what we do here. I hope, Jania's not with me today, so I'm going to run through some things and just kind of open up some dialogue. I hope you guys have enjoyed the guests that we've had with Brendan Lowe and Lance Lassiter. And of course, always the amazing Phil. So let's jump back into the episode, Ace Reporter. Now, first off, Kara is a reporter again. Did we see that coming? I wasn't sure. Did I want her to be a reporter again? Wasn't sure. I like the idea of what she's doing, but I want her to follow in Clark's footsteps too much? Not really. But this episode was interesting. First of all, we have no really Hank or Alex, except for the opening scene, where there's nothing for Supergirl to do. So she starts baking, which Jania loved the scene where she pulls the pie or casserole out of the oven without warmers. That's straight up awesome. I wish I could do that. But we do get a lot of really great development for Lena, and I think Lena is a really good character because the way she's being played is we don't know if she's good or bad. I mean, they allude to it both ways. And I mean, she could be good, she could be bad. But we don't know. And they're making sure that we don't know. So, good on them. I like her character. Maybe she's struggling with wanting to be good, but she has to be bad. I don't know. We know she signed on for next season, so we can continue with that as it progresses. Now, speaking of Lena, she asks Kara, "What's your kryptonite?" Kara's fun reaction is, "Kryptonite," but she couldn't say it. But the way they film her it's just really cool. It's just a way of luring us into, we're like, aha, see, I knew she was bad. Nope. Okay, she's not bad. Alright, you got me this time, Lena. Now, in this episode, it also was very interesting. We got Guardian, and when he still has his alien girlfriend that betrayed him somewhat, they're trying to work it out. I don't know. And then he just yells, "Hey, Guardian," and Jimmy takes his mask off. I mean, come on. But I wouldn't mind seeing a Jimmy and Diggle team up. The Jimmy Spartan, the Diggle Guardian. Wait, reverse that. Spartan and Guardian. Still not happy that he's Guardian, but we'll move on. And we're back with Alex. The next episode, Season 2, Episode 19. And with me is my lovely, very beautiful, very amazing wife to my children, the Lois Lane to my Superman, the one, the only, Miss Jania.
Hey guys.
Welcome back, Jania.
I am so glad to be back.
And as I told everybody, Jania's been out for a little while just because of, giving birth.
Healing, all that.
And Sayla's here with us too, our little princess. She's in the background having a good time. So, the episode entitled Alex starts off with Maggie in a hostage situation, negotiating, And then Supergirl shows up. Poof. Bam. What'd you think about that, you?
I mean, I thought it was pretty awesome, honestly. Supergirl just comes to save the day. Cops are already on it. You know, they're trying their best, but, you know, hostage situations are always a little interesting anyways. So, I think that, you know, Supergirl doing her part was pretty cool.
See, and I get, like, of course this causes a problem with Maggie, and I get both of where they're coming from, where Maggie's trying to negotiate. She said 17 hours. Supergirl went in, took care of it, and, you know, that was it. But, you know, it is one of those things, like, she uses excessive force and things like that as a vigilante. And they mentioned the Supergirl defense that people are using to get off and not go to jail because, you know, of her tactics and not following the laws. But doesn't that seem like a concept that would have already been addressed in some sort of legislation with Superman?
You would think so, yeah, definitely. Maybe it's a state, or not a state, but like a county or a city thing.
Yeah, it just, because I mean, I always think back to Superman Returns, where they talk about Lex Luthor got out of jail because the courts called Superman to testify and he wasn't there. So, I mean, that shows me that they recognize Superman's authority.
Yeah.
So you think having these, well, I mean, we don't know of many other heroes that exist on her world. We've gotten off-shot references to Batman, and we know Superman. So you think there'd been some sort of law about that. But anyways, Mon-El, the only man at the dinner of three women who are starting to argue, and he's trying to cool the tension. You know what I would have done if I was him? Run. I'm no. Three women versus me? I'm out of there.
Now, I do have a question going back to the whole hostage situation. Where was Supergirl for the first 17 hours?
Where indeed?
You know what I mean?
Maybe it overlapped with the previous episode. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good question. Maybe she was taking care of some other DEO-style threats. And then she was like, I'm bored. I'll just go save some hostages. Now, it was nice to see Terry Hatcher back in her, and how did you put it, amazing power suit she had on when she shows up talking to Lena.
Yes, that thing was gorgeous.
Just give me my Rhea and Jeremiah scene. Now she's talking about a weapon and her design, and I'm like, her design? What exactly is she going for? Because what is her plan? What is her end game?
Yeah. Obviously, it has something to do with ending Kara in general.
And then
she hates Kara.
we get a line about, we get a call, okay? After the dinner, of course, Kara leaves and Alex chases after her, and that's it. And then Kara gets a call the next day. She's talking with Maggie. No one had heard from Alex. And the person who calls Kara references her as a mild-mannered reporter.
Yeah.
And you know what? This episode, I get the villain. I liked that it was a human villain. At first, I was hoping that maybe it would be a callback to maybe Maxwell Lord, who just disappeared after the first season.
Yeah.
Our child waketh. Hold on, fans. So, I was always under the impression that, if I'm just thinking back, it always seems like they always refer to Kara as Supergirl and Agent Danvers to Alex. And yeah, they're together and stuff, but I never kind of thought that the whole DEO knew that Supergirl was Kara Danvers.
Really?
I guess I just didn't, because like you never see her in Kara mode until this episode at the DEO.
I'm pretty sure we've seen her before in Kara mode. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I think there was a time where it was an episode about her and Mon-El, and then Mon-El's parents showed up and all that, and she was at the DEO in her Kara getup.
maybe there was.
They were like talking. Yeah, pretty sure. Anyway, continue.
Now, I like in this episode, like I said, I like the bad guy because he's human. And I understand where he's coming from. I like that it's a callback to the scene from season 1 about her at the beach where she saves the mother and her baby. And I don't know. I like that callback, and that it was someone from her old high school who figured it out, that Kara was Supergirl.
I mean, it just takes putting two and two together, so... And you have to, believe that that's a thing,
And I mean, it is a thing, and it's just one of those, hey, no one else has caught on or put the pieces together?
I mean, I think with every kind of superhero situation, you still have someone out there who believes that, maybe it's a farce or whatever, so...
True. Now, I did find it annoying that somehow this dude found how to block John's ability to read his mind.
And that wasn't really explained.
No, I'm sorry. Like, I understand meta dampening stuff on Flash, as we've seen before. But seriously, like, Martian Manhunter... And of course, I love the idea when Martian Manhunter went under disguise as the guy's dad. Great call. Good job. That made sense. I don't know, I would have staged something, had Martian Manhunter in prison, and had him as the dad saying things like, I don't really care for my son, blah, 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 and played more of a psychological game with him.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'll tell you where my son is, where he would hide her if he'll cut me a deal to get out of here. I don't know, something like that. But at the same time, I did like the idea that the dad was a crook, but he genuinely cared for his son that he didn't know he had until he discovered his kid.
Yeah.
And then he did try to take care of him the best he could. And like he saved him from a bad situation from his mom. And as I said, I understand the villain of this episode.
Yeah. For sure.
And then the side story is, did we get any Jimmy in this episode? I don't think we saw James. No. We saw Wynn in hacker mode at the DEO.
Yeah. We didn't get any Guardian. We didn't get any
no Guardian in this episode. But the secondary plot of this episode is Lena was approached by Rhea, which is Mon-El's mom, to partner up in business. And it seems like Rhea starts playing on her motherly issues to try to friend her. And Lena, I love Lena's character because she's smart. She's very, very smart. Just like she tells her that she's going to give her that security badge, and she held up that thing. I was like, oh, that's her alien detector. Mm-hmm. And she checked her, and she realized she was an alien. Like, Lena is intelligent, and I love it. And I'm curious, like I talked about before, she plays such a good bad girl in the sense, like, we as the audience have yet to be able to discern if she's good or bad. Like, is she going one way or the other? Now, I feel like it varies from episode to episode. Right.
Like, one episode you're like, oh man, she's really awesome, and, I'm feeling like she's on Kara and Supergirl's team, and then the next episode you're like, I'm not 100% sure where this is going to go.
It was cool that when she found out Rhea was an alien, you said, why doesn't she call Supergirl to get or Kara to get a hold of Supergirl or whatever? And she does. And of course, Kara's busy. And Lena doesn't get a chance to fully, like, ask Kara her advice, her opinion. So, Lena's kind of in the dark. And as we see at the end, she makes the wrong decision to eventually partner up with Rhea. Right. We think. I mean, Lena's fooled us before. So we'll see where that goes. But I do like the friendship between Lena and Kara. And this episode shows more of that strain between Kara's being Supergirl, being able to punch and fight her way out of something instead of think. Yes. And slow down and rationalize. Because she was caught on an emotional level with her sister.
This was another example of Supergirl not completely knowing who Supergirl is. In the sense of, like, how she's supposed to act, as the hero. As Supergirl, not as Kara. Exactly. That's where those point. Two define each other, draw the line. Yeah, so this episode, I think, was, her learning more about how she has to act as Supergirl, how she has to be, what kind of an influence she is, It's just another facet of that. She rushes off
irrational. And she lands in a place, and it's lead-lined and all this, because I think they find out where Alex is. And to me, it sounded like she arrived at where Alex was, because Alex reacted like she could hear Kara. So I was thinking, was Kara close?
Yeah.
You know, because we saw the clock speed up, and it started filling up with water for Alex. But I was trying to figure out, was Kara close to where Alex was, or was it just trick editing?
Well, the reason why she could hear her is because of the feed. There was that video feed underneath the floor and everything like that.
That's right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So he probably had a microphone hooked up. So Alex thought that Kara was close. Vice versa.
And let's not forget that he said he'd been planning this for over a year. He had been studying and planning and plotting. You can't think of simple solutions to someone who's been that meticulous.
It was way too easy. She should have known better.
And that's kind of the point. It's like, the point of this is for her and Maggie to work together. And then, of course, Maggie decides that she's going to break the guy out of jail herself as a cop. And she gets some alien tech and goes in to break him out. And then Kara shows up and does her good hero speech, and the father basically figures out where Alex would be. And then they go and they get her. And what I don't understand is they come in and they're yelling for Alex, and Kara sees her and is jogging. Like...
Yes. Yep.
Heat vision, fly, super speed. Like, one thing that I loved about Smallville was, of course, the power that Clark mainly used was he could run fast.
Right.
Which we know Superman can move fast. But it's like once they give the character the ability to fly, they no longer use the, moving fast.
Yeah.
Because Kara, we did see her chase the Flash. Okay? She did run with the Flash. So we know that she can run fast.
Yeah.
So why didn't she run to Alex?
Well, what didn't make sense to me is there was a lot of lagging. Not with just the jogging, but she stood there and stared. And I'm like, that your sister is drowning. You know that she's dying, and yet you are, taking a minute to pause and react before you jump in and, save her.
And
let's be honest. That makes sense if you're a normal, everyday person. Sometimes you pause.
Who's never seen your loved one in danger.
Exactly. And you're in shock. Sometimes that happens. But for someone like her, who is a superhero, who deals with this stuff on a daily basis, and not only that, has seen loved ones in harm or, in trouble before, she should just be on top of it by now. She should know, okay, well, this is where I jump. This is where I go and I save this person. Instead of standing here and thinking about it before I run in and do it,
Yeah. So, that about wraps up the episode. Is there any final thoughts you have?
Honestly, one of the big things that I've been thinking about lately is I feel like Martian Manhunter is kind of downplayed, and I feel like he's really downplayed in this episode. I mean, think about how much his abilities that we know of, he could have used, and I don't know. Just my thought. No,
you're absolutely. People always say Superman's overpowered, and I think, in a way, okay, sure, but Martian Manhunter's also overpowered. With the, having the ability to read minds and shapeshift. So, in some instances, like I said, it threw me for a loop. How is he blocking the Martian's power? This would have been a better episode to have something where John's off-world or busy.
Yeah.
Something where he's off-planet. I don't know. They could have worked something so that John wasn't there.
Yeah,
and had Guardian running back up with Kara.
Yeah. See, here's the thing that I don't get is, he could have gone back to interrogate his father another time and said, hey, your son's doing this. Do you know where he might be keeping Alex? And boom, save, so much time. You know what I mean? And even if the dad lied, once again, Martian Manhunter has the ability to read minds. Could have read his father's mind.
Which he was trying to do the first time, and he didn't know. They said, exactly. He doesn't know. But
exactly. But, I don't know why they didn't think about going back and interrogating him again after they found out that it was his son.
I don't know.
Like, hey, do you know why your son might be doing this? Do you know where Alex might be? Anything like that. I don't know. There are just things that could have been done, loopholes, potholes, in this episode for me.
I agree. What are your thoughts, dear listeners? Hit us up online, listen to all of our thoughts and feedback, and let's get caught up and get ready for the season finale.
We're not ready for the series to end, Tyler.
No, we do know it has a season 3. It was renewed, so we are excited about that. See where it comes in. And I will say this. There's a lot of people that talk about the season 3 slump, okay? They said that Arrow had a slump of a season 3, and season 4, of course, was horrible. This is the 3rd season of Flash, and for the most part, I've really liked this season.
Agreed.
But next year will be the 3rd season of Supergirl and the 3rd season of Legends. So it's kind of interesting to see if either of them go into a slump or if they continue to elevate and be better.
Yeah. I have high hopes for Supergirl. I think that it keeps just going up and getting better.
This season was like a soft reboot because of the change of networks and, people losing characters and things changing up. So it had to find a little bit of new ground. Personally,
I'm kind of hoping that we don't get too caught up in, Monel's mom too much right now.
I'm really hoping that this... Look, I've said it before. I feel like Mon-El is not being served correctly as the character he should be. And I think it would be best if they did something where Mon-El gets lead poisoning and has to go to the Phantom Zone. And he gets written out at the end of the season.
It's depressing, but yeah.
It is, but that's what happened in the comics. If you ever get a chance, read the comics, especially the one where they did a short version called, oh man, I know I was going to forget this. It was written by Jeff Johns and Richard Donner. It was about Mon-El showing up and Clark and their relationship, and it was beautifully sad.
Yeah. I really want to see more of Superman, for sure.
He's coming back.
I know, but next season, too. I want to see more of him.
Hold that thought, dear beloved wife of mine. And remember, fans, look up in the sky.